This is culturally inappropriate.
Wagwan, it's your humble host, Big Truck. Hey, yo, go to my girl, Miss Chantal, go to her channel. She's doing amazing things. Show the queen some love. We're going to have an adult conversation and reviews. She has some things to say. I have some things to say. And then the spirit of the universe is going to take us home. Let me just highlight this. It is not cool at all for an individual to get charged for a crime that they did not commit. Grab your shoulder pads and your helmet, and let's get this work. Last time that I checked.
They say the truth hurts, so I lied to you. Yes, I lied to you.
Kidnapped, taken, by the kidnappers to a river.
And this is the bullshit right here, because only in feminist cultures a woman can falsely accuse a guy of rape, but then we give her the mic to tell her sad stories. Like, why should we care?
Them gal are wicked, them wicked, them wicked. Them gal are wicked, them wicked, them wicked.
Did an interview with a podcast, and the first thing that I noticed with this podcast, y'all, they title it, I Need to Clear My Name. First of all, clear your name for what? You either did it or you did not. So there are evil men and evil women in this world. The difference is those evil women blame men for their evilness. Like, it makes no sense.
Man, this is some bullshit.
And this is exactly what Victoria did in this podcast. Blame men for her falsely accusing. Fair use, of course, fair use. This is for educational purposes only.
Charged, caution, and I had to go on probation, so I have a criminal record. And
are you saying that you wanted to get him back because of the abuse?
I called the police 19 times because I was at fear of my life.
What was the psychological effects that it had on you? How would you describe that?
I kept finding myself in relationships with abusive men.
You keep finding yourself in those type of relationships because you've been abused.
Your father being absent in your life contributed to how you view men.
I witnessed the most horrific acts of domestic violence. I'm talking, my mum was regularly beaten black and blue.
You said that this video was made nearly 10 years ago.
Yeah, I can't even believe somebody could hold on to a video that long.
Why?
Bullshit. What's one and done is one and done. I can already see the Bumbleclad video gonna piss me off.
First of all, she said the person paid Gucci. Gucci is a content creator who released the footage. Someone paid him to release the footage. Okay, if he got paid or not, you still lied on camera. You said, like, that's beyond the point. Like, I don't even know why she even mentioning that. Secondly, when she's talking about how her father's absent, we all have childhood trauma.
We all do. But the difference is, did you get help from the trauma that y'all went through? You hear me say, did you get help? Did you get counseling?
If you're black, and we have childhood trauma. That is no excuse for us to falsely accusing a guy of something as serious as a rape, and then she take it upon herself as if she's Batman or if it wasn't, I had to seek justice. Like,
you accuse this man of slape. Slape. You accused him. Your man is sitting in jail for a crime he did not commit, off of an allegation that you've made because you have problem with men. Evil, wicked shit. I can't understand.
I know.
Come on, man, you don't know better than that.
This has been a very intense couple of days for you, I'm sure. How have you been feeling? How are you managing?
Actually, I've managed to stay quite grounded. I've got an excellent support network.
Me don't give a fuck how you feel. How come someone isn't asking the brethren, how are you feeling? Are you okay? Nobody's asking the brethren.
Around me, which I'm just incredibly grateful for.
Why do we care how she's
I'm in the middle of a 21-day juice fast, which has really just allowed me to just not react to things that are being saying online, but really just...
What do you mean react? You the one who fucking did what you did. And all of a sudden, we're talking about me cleansing and all... This is plain bullshit.
Tell us a bit more about what you do and who you are.
So I run one of the...
You see why this pissed me off? Like, y'all...
Come on.
All right, let's just...
fastest growing detox and wellness academies in the world.
Why do we care about her
teach
platform
people
when she falls
essentially how they can reclaim their health.
Why on
them
earth
tools and techniques
do we even care
predominantly based around fasting,
about her
but
platform?
also
why are they giving her an opportunity to promote
other health
herself?
healing modalities? So movement's a really big part of that. I also support... I guess through my time of growing my community, I support a huge community of people online with just daily inspiration. Provide
Inspiration. So did that inspiration help you to put an innocent man in jail because you have a problem with men?
Obviously, you're not in the studio with me. So where exactly are you?
So I'm currently in Jamaica. We are in the middle of running.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct.
So you in my hometown, Jamaica, with this bullshit. This bullshit in my hometown.
Reset Wellness Retreat, where people across the world fly in for a week to come and detox and reset their body in paradise. It's been an incredible experience. And yes, we're right in the middle of the retreat, but it was really important for me to be able to take the time out and respond to this video and really just shed some light around it as well.
Okay, that's good to hear. Obviously, from your brand being very wellness, fitness, dietary, just looking after your body, it's very contradictory to what has come out.
I see a lot of people in the comment
section
section saying that this podcast needs to be cancelled because what the hell? This girl falsely accused a guy of rape and y'all coming up here talking about. So tell me about yourself.
I agree. You accused a man of sleep. And then you go on here and you advertise your brand. Man, no one give a fuck about your brand. What me care about? Why did you put an innocent man in jail for sleep? And him did nothing wrong to you.
Obviously, there's been a lot of conversation surrounding you and this leaked video online. Let's kind of start by, I think what we need to kind of clarify is your relationship with men, first and foremost, because certain things that you were saying in the video kind of show that you don't like men. So kind of talk me through that. Like, what's your relationship or your view towards men holistically? My
relationship with my father was a very interesting one. He was a well-renowned journalist, had a publication called Business in Africa magazine, and I was his princess. I had a very, very close relationship with him growing up until the age of 12.
I understand the background because the therapist does that too. See, you got to get peppered up. So she's peppering everything up. She's seasoning everything up. And once everything is peppered up and seasoned up, then we're going to get into the real reason of why she feels the way she feels. And this is how a large number of women feel the way they feel. So this, I'm trying to told you, men, take off the gold pill. This is an eye-opener even for you to see how modern feminist women move, behave, and how far they are willing to go for validation, for attention.
He then moved to South Africa to pursue his business and his career. And at that point, things really changed for me. Going into my teenage years, not having my father present, I would see him once or twice a year, but he didn't play an active role in my life at all. Kind of going into early teenagehood, adolescence, and at the age of 19, at 47 years young, his life was tragically taken. He was assassinated by a family member, and that was for me probably one of the most traumatic experiences I had to go through, as a young adult, in my early teens, losing I would say losing my best friend. I looked up to my dad so much. We spent so much time together, even though.
It's obvious that she didn't receive counseling. There was no counseling provided. When you have something that is so traumatic that has taken place in one's life, that's where you go seek counseling. That's where counseling becomes available to help you deal with that trauma, to help you work through it, so that when you become an adult, it will not affect your social life and your love life.
He wasn't there physically, he still was my idol, and to have his life, to lose him so tragically at such a young age, I think definitely played a burden on me for sure.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm really sorry to hear that. Do you think that your father being absent in your life contributed to how you view men?
Not having my dad around growing up didn't influence my view on men. I think what it did do is it created a space for where I didn't have the right guidance, nurturing, or support structure as a young person.
But also created a space of hatred, created a space of abandonment, created a space of anger. because he was not there. Created a space of discomfort. You see me? Where's the love? Where did the love go? She's carrying all of these things distorted from her childhood. So when she comes across or interacts with men, she lashes out. She takes it out on them. She has some unfinished business with her past. I can look into her and tell there's darkness. I see darkness.
For me to just essentially encounter challenges, going through, my teenage life from the age of, from the ages of 12 to 16, so from year 7, to year 11, I went to 6 different secondary schools. I was expelled 3 times. I got myself involved.
What? I would have given her so much respect if she had came out to this interview and said, yes, I falsely accused a guy. There's no excuse for that. I served my time. I dealt with my consequences. The video is resurfacing because she claimed it was 10 years ago, which we won't dive into that soon because somebody in the comment section did the math and realized that there's no way it can be 10 years ago.
Lies.
If she had said, you know what, I did my thing, I served my time, that was a while ago, I regret it. I live with regrets every day. I tried to move forward by focusing on my business, focusing on my health, and helping other women to also focus on their health. My heart goes out to men who are falsely accused of rape. My heart goes out to real victims of rape. Like, I am so sorry for doing that. I apologize to the public. I apologize to my supporters, my followers. But I have so much respect for her.
And you should also apologize to the man that you had arrested for sleep. Where's his apology? Why not go to the authorities and say, hey, look, him did not do it. I made a false accusation. It was wrong. Why not apologize to the victim?
She said she want to come up and talk about how many schools she went to and how her dad left when she was 12
I want to hear
and
about
how her
that
mom
shit.
did.
I want to hear about
Are
that.
we serious right now? An interviewer just sitting there talking about, okay, this is the world we live in where we can give these women who falsely accused. That's the worst thing you can accuse somebody of. The platform.
I want to hear a man interview her, not no woman. You want me to say? I want to hear a man interview her. You said, I'm chat with you, Yardie. What's going on here?
Is, a gang of criminals, to say it quite frankly. And I almost got myself murdered at the age of 15. I was on the front page of Hackney Gazette
what she want with
because
oh my God.
I had been kidnapped, taken, by the kidnappers to a river, had all of my hair cut off. I had a bag put over my head and thrown into the river. I was in a hospital for 2 weeks in concussion. And as a result of that, there was multiple attacks at that time, but as a result of that first attack, I was put into witness protection, which I later came out of because I decided not to pursue the charges. But at that point, I also was in social services by the age of 15. I was in a foster home. My dad wasn't around, like I said. And both my parents really tried their best with.
They didn't try hard enough and not get you counseling. Listen, they don't feel no sympathy. There's no sympathy over here at the King's table for your fuckery. You knew what the fuck you were doing when you did what you did, when you said what you said.
That my life was in serious danger growing up. At the time, I was in Hackney. So when they realized that my life was in serious danger, my dad decided to step in and remove me from the UK. And I ended up finishing my studies in Germany. I went to the Berlin British School and I ended up finishing year 11.
Okay, wow, that's a lot to take in. There's so much to unpack in what you've just said. But what I want to touch on is, you mentioned, you talk about your dad, but where was your mum when all of this was happening?
I also lost my mum in 2021 to COVID. She was 56 years young. So that's, talking about my mum, I always get a little bit emotional. But up until the age of 12, my mum played a really active role in my life. She was the mum that would take me to every single after-school club, swimming, horse riding. She is an incredibly strong and inspiring woman.
I understand that, like, when you're doing interviews with people, you have to warm up, you have to, but not in this situation. Not with this scenario. Not this. Because if say, a rapist, right? He was convicted, charged, served his time, and he is out. Would they be interviewing him and say, oh, so tell me about your mom and dad? Because
No, they wouldn't. No. It would not be. No, my lad, no, it would not go like that.
She did is as equal as the rapist. One person committed both of them committed the crime. Both of them should have faced the same consequences because both of them destroyed somebody's life. The rapist destroyed the victim's life, and she, with her false accusation, destroyed the guy's life. They wouldn't be talking to a rapist like this again.
Growing up, but when I hit the age of 12, she met somebody, and the person that she had met was living in Tottenham at the time. We were living in South London in West Norwood. And within a few months of meeting this individual, he was a Turkish man, she fell pregnant. They decided they were going to get married and have a child. So essentially, at the age of 12, my mum had decided to start a new family. And I think that's really when my struggles with men really began. And throughout those years, throughout those teenage years, throughout the adolescent years, from the time that my mum was with this man, his name was Sayed, I witnessed the most horrific acts of domestic violence. I'm talking, my mum was regularly beaten black and blue in front of me, had her hair dragged, had her teeth kicked in while she was pregnant to my younger brother. My stepdad kicked her in the stomach. And, it was just one of those things. Growing up, I ended up really resenting, because I had no control. As a teenager, I had no control. I had no way of protecting my mum. And I thought, definitely at the time, maybe I can seek safety and comfort on the streets. And that's what I did. I got taken in by the streets.
Trying to gain sympathy. But see, that's how a large number of women do. Okay? We call them modern feminist women. Modern women, that's what they do. They use certain talking points to gain sympathy from other women.
14, 15, that was another thing as well. Whilst I was still at home, I also had challenges because my mum, being Turkish, is white. My stepdad was white. My little brother was also white. So I also felt like I didn't fit in. My dad wasn't around. So the closest space, or I guess the closest I could feel home was really the safety on the streets. And I remember going through my teenage years thinking one day I'm gonna kill this man for what he's put my mum through. And that's essentially, I think, was the beginning of, the relationship, the beginning, I guess the beginning of it all was witnessing domestic.
And as I said, going back to what I said, going back to the whole purpose of my channel, there are wicked men in this world. There are evil men in this world, but there are also evil women, wicked women. The difference is those women are going to try to play the victim card. They're going to try to say, oh, no, I should not deal with the consequences of my wickedness.
I agree. Me agree.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct.
And that's fucking sad. It is. It's bum-maclad sad. How you gonna play the victim, but you did wrong? No man did nothing wrong to you. Man did not do nothing wrong to you, but you did wrong. But you want to play the victim, especially when a man exposes you.
To distract you from the point at hand. They've been talking for over 12 minutes and 42 seconds now. And the fact that they have not even addressed, listen, you messed up. You did a false accusation. You tried to ruin somebody's life. And if it wasn't for the guy, Gucci, secretly recording you, the guy would have still been sitting in jail and you wouldn't admit, you wouldn't come forward. How many?
Shout out to Gucci. Let's sit here and finish my whole protein shake and then get down to nothing. I don't want to hear about your childhood life and your business. Fuck all of that. I want to get down to the meat and potatoes of it all. Why did you do what you do? Why you do it? You do it. Why?
Would have been asking if this was a man sitting right there. Like, it's disgusting. It is very disgusting to me. This is the world we live in, and then you have these women who gonna see this kind of content and say, oh, you're male identified. Like, seriously?
Violence, the severity of what my mum went through growing up. And I know a lot of people can relate in Turkish cultures, especially Turkish, Arabic, any kind of ethnic culture, to be beaten by your husband is normalized. It's one of those things that it's like, women just have to endure it. We have to accept it. And, that my mum, because of the sake of my younger brother, she stayed in that relationship.
What was the psychological effects that it had on you? How would you describe that?
It almost normalized it, so it was no coincidence when I hit 26, 27 that I kept finding myself in relationships with abusive men. That played a really big part in terms of my psychology. And, not realizing, I think it was more of a subconscious decision that, I was making, that I would end up in a relationship with men who at some point would end up abusing me. If it wasn't physically, it was emotionally or mentally.
So
and it was a pattern that would...
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct.
What the fuck did Mitch just say? What did Mitch just say? This is why you attract the Pookies and the Ray Rays. Due to your past. But a good man, this what you done to him. Charge that man of slave. But me guarantee you, if it was a Pookie and Ray Ray, no. You would not do Pookie and Ray Ray like that. No, you would not.
Go find out how you can break the pattern. Go pray, go do something, whatever you have to do to break the pattern. But falsely accusing a guy?
Continuing throughout, kind of my adult life.
So let's talk about the video, the recent viral video. So when the video first dropped, you mentioned that it was fake and it was AI. Can we
This
talk
is
a
the
bit
part,
about
yeah.
that?
This is the part.
So given the size and scale of my account, I'm not the person that always is behind running my account. So the video was sent to me, and my first response to the video was that this has been edited, this is fake. And that's what I said to my team. So they then took that and said it was AI. When I realized that they put out it was AI, I deleted the story immediately and, then went forward with saying it's a very, very real video. It's just been, it's a 7-minute video that's been edited specifically.
So beyond the point, again, moving the goalpost. Because if you...
Bitch.
How can a lived experience be fake? She claimed it did happen. She claimed this is very real, but it was 7 minutes long, so we're just gonna say it's fake. You admitted to falsely accusing a guy. You know you did that. You were there. You were the one on camera. You have the memory of that. So how on earth the thought of it being fake even crossed your mind? No, she's gonna push off responsibility to her team. Say, oh, my team is the one who said was you told them this was.
Much love and respect for the people who did their research. For the men and women out there that did their research, much love and respect to you. Continue to do your research.
Specifically to show me in a particular light, So I think there was a misunderstanding there for sure.
In a particular
Obviously,
light.
there's a lot of things that we need to unpack about that video, but you mentioned that, you hate men in that video. And obviously you describing everything that you've gone through psychologically.
No. The interviewer needs to dig a little deeper in that. Oh, at first I thought it was fake because the original video is a 7-minute long video because they edited it down to focus on the main points of the video. Then I claim it was fake. And then the interviewer just gonna skip over that. Like, oh, okay.
No, don't do that. Stay there. Stay there. Stay in that place. Don't move from that. Stay there. Let's talk about it.
Okay. So in that video you mentioned.
One could argue that, it's understandable why you would kind of have that viewpoint. But you've mentioned that your dad didn't contribute to it. It was your stepdad. And then you also entered into abusive relationships. What did those abusive relationships look like? What did you experience?
In relation to the video, the person that I was in a relationship with, it was over a period of 18 months. When I first entered a relationship with this guy, generally I would, be naive enough, because I'm someone who wears their heart on their sleeve naturally in every scenario, every situation. And, one of the things that led me to even entering this relationship was just being vulnerable enough to take people for face value. The manipulation that went into pursuing the relationship from him, early on in the relationship, really was, when I look back and reflect, I think, okay, I definitely was in a really broken state. When I look back at that video, because, I've watched it a couple times, and just to set the record straight,
Message. Women, if you're broken, you haven't quite healed, you have unfinished business with your past, don't date. Don't get into a relationship. Work on you. Because it's shit like this that can happen. You come into a man's life and you fuck his life up because your life is fucked up.
It was filmed almost 10 years ago. The person who I was speaking about in that video wasn't arrested and wasn't prosecuted. whilst I said some extremely, you know, vile things in that video, a lot of people have really focused on the hate and the anger. And
I'm so sorry. I'm just going to cut you because you said the person in the video that you were referring to was not prosecuted, was not arrested, was not charged.
Absolutely not. He wasn't, you know, he wasn't charged. He didn't go.
Which person? Who? The person that you accused of slape? Or the person that was recording? Because if it's the person that was recording you, of course he's not going to get prosecuted. There's no charges on him. But the individual that you accused of slape, he was charged and arrested. I'm confused. Help me help you.
To jail. And actually the video was provided to the police, and because the video was provided to the police, he managed to get away with those charges. And as a result of that video being provided to the police, I was charged, caution, and I had to go on probation. So I have a criminal.
So the issue is, what if the video was not provided to the police? What if Gucci did not secretly record you?
If Gucci did not, that man would still be sitting in jail. And you'd be still walking around here, living fancy free, doing your fucking health and exercise and fitness seminars, deep meditation and detoxation. The fuck out of here. The fuck.
That is the issue.
Record, and you know that was a decision made by the police at the time. So I really had to pay the price.
Okay, so we're moving along a bit quickly here. So the video, the man that released the video, Gucci Walker, I believe, right? Am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah. He
Shout out to Gucci
he
Walker.
released a statement saying that his friend, the reason why he made the video was because his friend was charged with a false rape case.
And that's a true friend. That is a true friend. Because I'm quite sure if it was any of us, we would have a true friend that will go out on a limb and do that investigation.
Case, yeah? And at the hands of you planned it. You had the man in your house where you both had intercourse, and then the police caught him there. So he was going to jail. He couldn't bust case on this particular matter because he was found in your house. But you're saying that that didn't happen.
No, so he did get arrested, and because the video, you know, was provided to the police as evidence, he was released. He never got charged.
Bullshit. She asked you a question. And see, you have to pay attention to detail. She asked you a specific question, and you went around it. No, you planned it. You knew what you was doing when you did what you did. And you sitting there smiling. That's what's pissing me off. You stop lying.
And he, you know, I never saw Denzel again. That was, you know, over 8 years.
She said he wasn't arrested. She literally just said he wasn't arrested.
Flashback.
The person who I was speaking about in that video wasn't arrested and wasn't prosecuted.
Feminist lies.
Them gal ya wicked, them wicked, them wicked. Them gal ya wicked, them wicked, them wicked.
He went on with his life. I went, you know, we made a lot of mistakes during that relationship. That was probably one of the most traumatic. I've been through 2 very, very traumatic relationships in my life. One of those, I mean, when I say traumatic, you know, violent and abusive, one of those was with Denzel, the person that was in question in the video. And his ex-partner warned me. She was a teacher. She had a non-molestation order against him. And she said, look, this guy, she told me exactly what was going to happen in the relationship. And I didn't believe her. Denzel, you know, convinced me also not to believe her. And, you know, and I really paid the price of that. One of the biggest things...
Whoa. She told you, the friend told you about him. And you still pursued a relationship with him. That's your choice. That's on you. What does that have to do with you blaming this man of slape, something he did not even do? What does that have to do with anything? There's no excuse. Again, you chose who you chose. Large number of these women, they sit up there and they choose Pookie and Ray Ray in them. And when they do what they do, now they butt hurt. Now they in their feelings.
You know, that came out of the relationship is during the time that we were together, I fell pregnant I ended up contracting an STI. He gave me gonorrhea at the time. At the time I was working at Microsoft, I had a very successful career with a 6-figure salary. And he told me that he was an ex-football player, semi-pro football player.
Listen, y'all, okay. Because you find a situation, you find yourself in a situation with a man like she's as equally as toxic, allegedly, because we don't know. We need to hear Denzel parts of the story. So allegedly, she's equally as toxic as Denzel. So what she stayed in the situation. And like, oh, am I going to get up? I'm going to accuse him of rape. Are we serious right now? And then she's coming on here because she knows the talking point to say for women to support her. I said this in yesterday's video. If you want to go viral on TikTok, you come out on TikTok and you play the victim card about how your spouse, your significant other, your man, your baby daddy, whoever is abusive, is narcissistic, is belittling.
I'm going to let her say a few more and then we're done. But that's true. They go in here and they say certain things. They know who to pander to. They know who to get the type of attention to.
Behind closed door. But as I said, the point of this is to just show y'all how someone who falsely accused a guy of rape is given a platform to not only clear her name, because, excuse me, what? How are you clearing your name? It makes no sense. How are you clearing your name? You either did it or you did not.